so good to be back. What you just saw was a reenactment of something I recently experienced with my Apple TV. I actually bought this Apple TV 2 years ago, and the reason I got it is because of the internal 160 gigabytes of storage. Then, via an update, Apple goes and makes this into an AirPlay only device. And this wasn't a problem for me until I went and got more music, and I wanted to add the music to this device. Well, I couldn't add the music to the device, and so I had to revert back to an older version of iTunes to be able to play that music on this device. But this thing got me thinking, is it even worth it for me to keep this device in 2018?
Before we answer that, let's look at the design of the original Apple TV. The outside of the Apple TV is still elegant in its own way. I really like the look of these as they remind me of the Mac Minis from this time. In fact, I wish I had a Mac Mini of this era to show a size comparison, as they are probably similar in size. This device has an amazing array of outputs to choose from. It has the neglected component outs. It also has an HDMI for video and audio output. For audio only to your stereo or soundbar, you have two possible outputs, left and right analog audio and digital optical audio. For networking, it has 100 megabits Ethernet and wireless internet via the older 2.4N standard. Let's take a look at the software. This Apple TV hasn't gotten updates from Apple since who knows when. It's running a version of tvOS that reminds me of the classic iPod's interface. It does allow you to search for music by artist, genre, playlist, song name, etc. There is a section to search for podcasts if you should choose to upload some to the device. And the last area I want to talk about is the video section. It's surprisingly functional, and I would store videos on the device if it could play decent quality videos. I want to talk about that storage drive now. Yes, I know, 160 gigabytes isn't massive by modern standards. But remember, this device was released in early 2007. Those were the days of MP3s and keeping massive amounts of music on a single device. Now, with large storage becoming affordable, I started changing all my MP3s to a less compressed file standard known as FLAC, or Apple's version, ALAC. And this drive, being an older spinning PATA drive, doesn't seem to keep up with the less compressed format. Due to the limited interface and age, it runs really hot as well. So hot that for the summer months I have been shutting the device off when not in use. How about apps? I actually had it jailbroken when I first bought the Apple TV. This was to allow me to install apps like Netflix, YouTube, and Plex. I used them sparingly until the Apple TV became unstable and consistently began rebooting itself. Even with the jailbreak though, Netflix and YouTube were mostly no-goes, so the benefits of the jailbreak really didn't pan out.
So going back to the original question, is this Apple TV worth keeping in 2018? It's hard for me to say yes. I can update all my computers to the latest version of iTunes. And with macOS Mojave coming out this fall, Apple may force an update that'll make this basically an obsolete piece of equipment. Planned obsolescence, Apple? And as you guys saw, I didn't have any videos on the Apple TV. That's because it doesn't allow you to play anything at a decent bitrate. Yes, I know I could do some upgrades to the hardware and that could alleviate some of that, but I'll still have to deal with the software issues. So as of now, I think what I'm going to do is give it to the local VA center in hopes that maybe they can sell it and put some of that cash into the hands of a US veteran. I hope you learned something today and enjoyed watching this video.